So here we are with the third and last of the circle geometry videos for the IGCSE course. We take a look at the picture that we've got here in front of us. We have a circle with 4 points, B, C, D, and E, all lying on the edge of the circle. Now, a bit of mathematical vocab. If points all lie on the edge of a circle, those points are said to be concyclic. So if you see this word concyclic coming up, all it means is that the points, they say the points are concyclic, it just means those points will lie on the edge of a circle. Now, we've got these 4 points on the edge of the circle, and that has created a special type of quadrilateral. It's got 4 sides, so it must be a quadrilateral. And because all those corners are on the edge of the circle, we're going to call this a cyclic quadrilateral. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at features of this cyclic quadrilateral. Now, I've deliberately drawn it so the sides aren't the same length. But we're going to have a look at the angles that we've got here. So if I go and fill in the different angles, we can see what they look like. And just move them a little bit so we can see them quite clearly. And as with all things mathematical, we're trying to see if we can find some sort of pattern that exists here in this diagram, some sort of rule that we can try to generalize. Now, if we take a look at these 2 angles over here, the angle B and the angle D, and add them together, you're going to come up with 180 degrees. If we go and take these 2 angles, C and E, add them together, you're also going to come up with 180 degrees. So there seems to be something that's happening here, the fact that your opposite angles of the quadrilateral are going to be supplementary. They're going to add up to 180 degrees. Now, this doesn't always happen in quadrilaterals. It only happens in this case where we've got a cyclic quadrilateral. If we move these points around, you'll see that the angles change, but the opposite angles still add up to 180. You'll notice the angle B and D didn't change, and that's because I haven't moved its feet, these points C and E. If I move the point D, again, I can see the opposite angles are supplementary. If I change this around and maybe move the point E, we'll see that these opposite angles still add up to 180. They didn't change. But these angles over here certainly did change. But the thing that didn't change was the fact that the opposite angles still added up to 180 degrees. And so here is the fifth of the angle facts that we have. And that is that the opposite angles of a cyclic quad, okay, this is a cyclic quad, the opposite angles of a cyclic quad will always add up to 180 degrees. Now, you'll see in this diagram as well that I've gone and drawn a line through B and E and extended it out. This creates what's known as an exterior angle. So I've extended this side BE and I create an angle over here that's called an exterior angle. And if I go and put the size of that exterior angle in and move it a little bit so we can see it more clearly, notice that this angle over here and that angle over there, well, they're both the same values. No matter where I move these points, that stays the same. No matter how I move these points, the exterior angle is going to equal the interior opposite angle. No matter if I make it big or small, those 2 angles, the exterior angle and its interior opposite partner, are going to add up to 180 degrees. Sorry, not going to add, they are the same. What am I saying? The exterior angle and the interior opposite angle are the same. And that is the final angle fact that you're going to need to know. The exterior angle of a cyclic quad is equal to the opposite interior angle, this angle over here. So Please take notes on these 2 extra angle facts, as well as the terminology that we had over here, the vocab that you must get used to. And then you need to go and practice your knowledge of this work with some exam questions. All the best with that. Till later. Goodbye.